So guys, boners aren't just for you, ladies get boners too. Hi everyone, welcome back to the channel. If you are new here, welcome. I'm Dr. Holly, sex and relationship therapist, and today I'm busting some of the biggest sex myths that just won't die. These myths create shame, confusion, and unrealistic expectations about sex, so let's clear them up. And if you like talking about sex, relationships, and mental health without the BS, please do hit that like button and subscribe, and let's get into it. Let's start with the myth that losing your virginity changes your body. Spoiler alert, it doesn't. Virginity is a social construct, not a biological one. And while we're at it, let's also talk about the hymen, which has been described as a determinant of virginity and thought to break once someone, particularly a woman or someone with a vulva, has their sexual debut. The hymen is a membrane that can stretch over time from normal activities like biking, gymnastics, bike riding, or even inserting a tampon. Some people are even born without one. So no, losing your virginity will not break your hymen necessarily or change your body in any dramatic way. Rather, one's determination to have their sexual debut is really their own decision, and the whole idea of virginity is a social construct, not a biological one. Myth number 2, orgasms should always happen through penetration. Well, if this were true, a whole lot more people would be having orgasms. But the reality is most people with vulvas need clitoral stimulation in order to reach orgasm. Therefore, penetration alone just simply doesn't do the trick for most people. So if you've not experienced orgasm through penetration alone, please know that you are normal. If you're struggling with pleasure and you have a vulva, external stimulation might be the key. In fact, a 2017 study showed that 36% of women or folks with vulvas require clitoral stimulation in order to reach orgasm, and an additional 36% indicated that clitoral stimulation was not needed, though their orgasms felt better if they engaged in clitoral stimulation during intercourse. Therefore, clitoral stimulation plays a huge role in orgasm and in particular women's sexual satisfaction. Therefore, sex with penetration is not necessary to achieve orgasm, and in fact, a lot of times it's not enough for people to achieve orgasm. Number 3, men have high sex drives and women have low ones. This is one of the biggest myths out there, but it's important to note that sex drive or sexual desire is not determined by gender. Some women have high libidos and some men have low libidos, and vice versa. In addition, sexual desire or libido can change over time based on all sorts of factors, including physical changes, hormonal shifts, relational factors, how you're feeling emotionally and mentally, among others. So this is one of those myths that continues to be harmful and just simply not true. So let's get rid of that one. Myth number 4 is that only men watch porn. Despite what society tells you, men, women, non-binary folks, and people of all genders enjoy watching porn. The difference? Women are often shamed for watching it, whereas men are expected to. And the numbers prove it. In fact, my favorite study every year, Pornhub's annual year in review, revealed that in 2024, 38% of worldwide viewers were female, and female viewership increased by 7%. That is a huge jump. So this idea that only men watch porn is just flat out wrong. People of all genders actually watch and enjoy watching porn, so it's time to stop thinking about this as a guy thing and realize that anybody can enjoy adult content. Myth number 5, and this one might surprise you, only men get erections. You see, erections aren't just for people with penises because people with vulvas also experience erections through arousal-based swelling. The clitoris is made up of the same erectile tissue as the penis, and when aroused, it fills with blood, becomes more sensitive, and thus is called a clitoral erection. So guys, boners aren't just for you, ladies get boners too. Myth number 6, and this one really gets to me. It's this myth that lube is only for old people. Lube is for everyone, not just older adults. It can make sex more comfortable, reduce friction, and increase pleasure regardless of age. Vaginal dryness isn't just an issue for menopause. It can happen due to stress, medications, changes in the menstrual cycle, or even just not being mentally aroused the way that you'd like to physically. So if lube makes sex feel better for you, there is no shame in that regardless of your age. Wetter is better. Myth number 7, sex drive is always spontaneous. When we say spontaneous desire, what I'm saying is that people have this innate urge or desire to engage in sex that pops up spontaneously like we see in the movies. In reality, sexual desire is a lot more complex than that, and many people experience what we call responsive desire, or they experience a desire to engage in sexual activity in response to a stimulus. This could be a mental stimulus like watching a movie or reading erotica, or it can be an actual physical stimulus like engaging in masturbation in which the desire follows. So some people are spontaneous, some people are responsive. Either way, both are normal, and if you don't experience spontaneous desire like in the movies, there is absolutely nothing wrong with you. Number 8, good sex equals orgasm. If orgasm was the only goal, we'd be missing out on so much pleasure that happens during the entire intimate experience. While orgasms are great, sex isn't just about reaching the finish line. It's about connection, exploration, enjoyment, and really connecting with your partner. Putting too much pressure on orgasms can actually make them harder to achieve. So instead, let's focus on the journey instead of the destination. Myth number 9, and this is probably the one that bothers me the most, this idea that your vagina gets loose if you have a lot of sexual partners. Nope. The vagina is a muscle and it naturally expands and contracts. It doesn't wear out from sex no matter how many partners you've had. It can stretch to accommodate childbirth and then return back to size. So trust me, no amount of sex is going to loosen up your vagina. Additionally, we don't say things like too much sex is going to shrink penises or squish them or make them smaller. And we also don't say that having more sex with the same partner loosens your vagina. So really, this myth just makes absolutely no sense. It's rooted in slut shaming, and frankly, it just needs to go. Lastly, myth number 10 is that your partner is responsible for your orgasm. I am a firm believer that everybody is responsible for their own pleasure and their own orgasm in sex, but obviously should be taking their partner's experience into account and doing everything safely and consensually. What I mean by this is that you are responsible for your enjoyment and your pleasure and thus your orgasm. Also, it could be a joint responsibility if you decide to invite your partner into playing a role in your orgasm or in your pleasure. But all in all, it comes down to the person whose body it is to be in control of their experience. That's it for today. I would love to know which one of these myths surprised you the most. So please do drop a comment below and let's talk about it. And if you want more real, shame-free conversations about sex, relationships, and mental health, please do hit the like button, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you don't miss out on any future videos. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Until next time, stay curious, stay connected, and remember, you deserve a healthy, happy, and pleasurable life.